Good morning, Precision Health community. Today, we are going to talk about ergonomics. You guys are used to seeing me stand up, but today we're sitting because I want to show you guys some really good ergonomics while you're sitting, especially when you're at home working on a computer, because we're not usually using our desks. I'm sitting right now at our dining room table, which is what we've been using a bit as our home office. What's really important when it comes to ergonomics is, number one, it's never going to be perfect. Why? Because it is not natural to sit in front of a computer all day. So you want to optimize it the best that you can, but at the same time, you want to make sure that you move on a regular basis. Number one, if you can get rid of the desk completely, or at least for part of the time, if you have a laptop or something, get on the floor. Sit in a straddle, sit with your legs behind you, lay down on your stomach. Sometimes that's an option, other times you can't. But getting down on the floor is a great way to kind of test your tissues. And you'll find that after a little bit in one position, you get uncomfortable, so you move to another position. That gets uncomfortable, you move. So naturally, it keeps you moving around. But if you're not going to do that and you're going to be sitting, I want to show you some really important stuff when it comes to sitting at a desk. You can't see me right now, but wherever you're sitting, you want your knees slightly below your hips. So if that's your hip and these are your knees, you don't want to be sitting like that. You want to be sitting like this. So your thighs should be slanting down slightly. If your chair is too low, you can do what I'm doing right now, which is tuck your feet underneath the chair, sit a little closer to the edge, which drops your knees down. And that creating that what's known as an obtuse angle between your hips and your thighs, that helps to get your pelvis and your lumbar spine into a neutral position. So that's number one. Number two, once you're sitting on those sit bones and you get your pelvis in that neutral position, it's a lot easier to get your shoulders and stack them in a neutral position. Because if your pelvis is in a posterior tilt, if it's rocked back, it's impossible to sit up straight. And you're going to naturally round the upper back and protrude that head forward. So get those hips into a neutral position. Naturally, those shoulders will tend to come back and the head will tend to come back. The next thing is making sure that your monitor is at a good height. So when we're looking at the monitor here, I'm looking horizontal with the monitor, where with a laptop, it's near impossible to get good ergonomics, because if the monitor is high enough, the keyboard is too high and that wrecks your shoulders. If the monitor is down where the keyboard is good, then you're down in this flexed forward head turtlenecking position for long periods of time. So laptop, impossible. With a desktop, you want your monitor right here at eye level, and then you want your keyboard at a level where your shoulders are relaxed and your elbows are at about 90 degrees, maybe even a little more than that, where your hands and arms can just rest and you can work on the keyboard that way. The problem with spending any amount of time, though, in this position is even if you do it perfectly, it still is not good because it's not a natural position. Even sitting like this upright, your hip flexors are going to get tight, your shoulders are going to get tight, your back becomes rigid, you naturally are going to get tension up through the neck and the base of the skull. So, number one, we want to optimize this position as much as possible, but at the same time, take frequent breaks. If you're ever on a video call with me, you'll see that I'm always reaching behind my back, stretching my shoulders. I'm leaning to the side, rotating my arms back, putting one leg over the other to stretch my hips, and then taking breaks as often as you possibly can. If you're on a conference call, get up out of your chair, go for a walk. If you're listening or reading something, get on the floor, move around. The more that you can move and the more that you can optimize your position, the less of a trouble it's going to cause you. But because it's so unnatural, you're still going to probably need me. So give us a call. We can help you and keep working on this. And I think that you'll notice a significant improvement in your energy levels and how you feel. We'll see you soon.